So a mutual friend of ours on the Facebook, she had said she was looking for a good true crime or scary ghost haunted podcast to listen to, and so I sent her a link to ours. I said, I think we've talked about crime sometime on ours. Mm-hmm. And she listened to an episode today. She loves Dave. That's the only thing she said. She says, I love Dave. I'm like, well, good. I'm glad you love Dave. Yeah, Dave is 5% of the podcast. 95% of it is me and you. But she loves Dave, and that's fine. You know what? Fine. She can love Dave. That's totally fine.
Dave, you're fired.
Yep.
Sorry, folks. Park's closed. The moose out front should have told you.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This podcast is so hot, you're going to need sunscreen. Give it up for your hosts, Mike and Darren.
Hi, I'm Darren.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 216. And wow, Mike and I, we haven't seen each other in, I think, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's, we took a little summer vacation. You know, Mikey and I, we need a break from each other.
Yeah. We get a little stabby.
Yeah, kind of like we're in the rock band, and we each did a solo project to get each other out of our system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we're back now, and boy, howdy, do we have a show for you tonight.
Yeah.
I had the most stressful, worst possible ever start to a vacation that we've ever had. Ever. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about Darren's vacation. That's what this episode's going to be, folks. And you know what?
We'll sprinkle a couple other things in there, but yeah.
I will tell you, and maybe this is me being selfish or whatever.
Yeah.
But some of my favorite episodes have been when we come back from vacations, because if the reason you come to this show is because we have mental issues and you like to hear how we interact with the normal world, vacation is that on steroids. Yeah. We let fly, and we document it all.
We do. Yeah. So, let's get right to it. Oh, by the way, if you listened to last week's episode was our best of volume 4.
Number 4.
For them damn things.
That's our 4th best of episode.
Yeah.
We did best of volume 1. That was number 52. Okay, then we did best of volume 2, volume 3, and volume 4. And if you go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, and there's at the top of the page, there's new to the podcast, question mark?
Yeah.
There's a section there, and you can flip through some episodes. There's an episode we did with Shadow Stevens, the one where I went to New York and met Rupert G. and all the Letterman people, and then Mike went to see U2 in Vegas. Anyway, if you go through that, you can find the best of volume 3, volume 2, and volume 1. If you're new to the podcast, because I had somebody today, this woman named Amy, and she asked me, what's your favorite episode of your show? I don't have a favorite episode. I've got some favorite segments. There's no way for me to tell you a favorite episode. But if you're new to the podcast, if you want to check us out, go and find those best of episodes. And I think you'll thank me.
So I had some friends on a road trip, and they messaged me and said, we're on a road trip. We want to listen to your podcast. Give us some suggestions. And I started looking through, and I had a lot of trouble, A, because I forget what we talked about.
Right.
But B, you never know when something's going to be good.
Right.
But I want to throw a challenge out there. I'm going to call it the Whoppin' Challenge.
I mean, our most successful episode was The Legend of Truck Nuts Troy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that that's our best one.
No.
But it was a good one.
Yeah. So walk with me on this journey, podcast listeners. New and old can do this.
Yes.
The Whoppin' Challenge.
Hey, what happened?
Listen to the best of year 4. Then immediately listen to the best of year 3.
Right.
Then year 2. Then year 1.
Right.
And then listen to the first episode. And what you'll hear is a slow degradation backwards. You'll hear two people who semi know what they're doing go all the way backwards to is this thing on?
We didn't know what we were doing when we started, and there's we have a handful of listeners who've been with us since episode 1.
Yes,
loyal followers.
Yes,
and they loved episode 1. Whatever.
Yeah.
So
I had the absolute joy. I enjoy putting together the best ofs. Have I done them all?
You've edited all 4 best ofs.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one was done quickly, folks, because Daddy didn't have a lot of time because of all the that was aimed and launched at the fan.
Right.
We had a moment where we thought we weren't going to have an episode come out at all.
Well, we had to have Dave Lay host
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he broke into the house and he recorded whatever the hell that
Did
was.
whatever he wanted to do.
And then Mikey threw the clips in there.
Mm-hmm.
But in going through those, it reminded me, I got right back into the saddle, the golden saddle, the blazing
The
saddle.
golden saddle.
The saddle. If nothing else, I know how to beat the out of a joke. To beat it until it and its horse are dead. But the point is, listen to the best ofs, and they will give you an indication of whether you want to listen to the rest of that year. We don't put all the best stuff in the best of. Contrary to the title,
Right.
there's just not enough room.
There's not.
And nobody's going to listen to a 2-hour episode like that.
Yeah, we do try to limit it, you know, what we love the most. But anyway, those are on there, so go to irritabledadsyndrome.com and check those out.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm going to drop my pants and fire a rocket.
So your vacation got a little Griswoldy.
Oh, my God. I don't know if you knew this, but on July 19th, the Earth had a global internet outage.
Yeah, Barry at Microsoft kicked the plug out.
Yes.
Well, it was some program that they use.
They were
Oversmack or something.
They were updating Oversmack.
Yeah,
and it everything everywhere all at once. And
we are the peak of technical commentary.
Well, all I know
is happened somewhere.
Yes, because Libby and I, usually on vacation we drive. I can't remember. It was 3 or 4 years. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. We flew to Florida for a cruise, right?
And you had to fly to Australia. There's too many. No,
you can't walk. The train doesn't go there.
There was a bus that tried to go there once.
What happened to that bus? It never came back.
It's still going. It's one of those duck buses. It's still floating out there.
It's a duck bus.
Have you ever been on one of those?
I have. I have a story with that, but I'll tell you that later.
Right.
So July 19, we're getting ready to fly to California. Okay, our plan was
Sacramento.
No, San Francisco. The plan was we're going to go to San Francisco on July 19th. We're going to spend the night, and then on the 20th, we're going to go see the Alcatraz, the Golden Gate Bridge. There's like a wheel or something, a Ferris wheel or something downtown, Fisherman's Wharf. We paid a decent amount of money to do this tour, okay? And we get this email, this text, first thing in the morning on July 19th. Hey, there's this outage. No, we got a text. We got a text from Delta.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, hey, heads up.
Yeah.
Your plans may be totally screwed.
Yeah.
And we went to Delta's website and we looked, and this plane was on time, this plane was on time, this plane was on time, this one was on time. These two were canceled. Our flight delayed. How far was it delayed? 45 minutes.
That's not bad.
Well, it is if you have a layover in Detroit that you're not going to be able to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we are essentially screwed.
I will say this, as someone who's flown a lot in my past, a lot of time I've been in a situation a lot where they are delayed for 45 minutes or an hour, and I only have a small layover.
Right.
The pilots, they've got like an afterburner, but they have something.
Yeah.
When you get up there, they'll say, "Oh, we're about a half hour behind, and we're going to get there about 15 minutes early." And I don't know what happened.
They postponed our flight, and then they postponed it again, and we definitely were not going to make our layover in Detroit. Eventually, they canceled the flight.
Yeah.
So now, in the morning, we instantly saw that our flight was delayed, so we got on to Delta's. We gave them a call on the phone because we couldn't get anybody on the WWW.
Because of the oversmack.
Exactly, because of oversmack. Wait time was 8 hours and 44 minutes.
Wait! You could pay an employee to be on hold for you, and you would have to pay them overtime.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I could have driven to Detroit in the time it took me to get somebody on the phone.
Was it estimated wait is 8 hours and 44
minutes? Yeah. 8 hours and 44 minutes.
Wow.
We're like, okay.
That is.
Now what do we do? So, and Libby had to work. She was working a half day. And so me, the dumb guy in the family, is trying to. Now, keep in mind, Libby made all the reservations. Libby knew all the reservation numbers, and it was all on her credit card.
Passwords, the secret codes.
Yes. We did this on Priceline. We did this through Flight Hub. We did this through this and through this. And so I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to figure out what I can possibly do. And my boss saw that I was doing this, and he, God love him, he was trying so hard to help. And he was going online. Hey, you can drive to Chicago, fly Alaska Airlines. That'll take you here, and then it'll get you there. And we're like, okay.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do with our car?
Yeah.
It's like we're going to take our trip. We're going to land in Cincinnati and then go to Chicago and then come back.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to take the chance of driving. It's like driving all the way to Chicago or Nashville or something else. And to do that, but we were looking at Indy, Columbus, Dayton, Louisville, and Lexington, trying to find something.
Okay.
Now, I found a flight that took off on the 19th. Okay. And had a layover in, I want to say, Dallas.
Yeah.
And then we would get to San Francisco a little bit later than we anticipated. I looked, and I double checked it, and I bought it. And the confirmation came in, and it said that our flight leaves on the 20th and not the 19th. Like I'm crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I swear as God is my witness that it said we took off on the 19th.
Yeah.
This one says the 20th.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. So I instantly canceled that one. Instantly. And they said, okay, we're sorry that you had a problem. And they refunded me.
Oh, good.
Like that. Yeah. I tried to book another.
You're still dealing with Delta.
Yes.
I'm
on Flight Hub now, so I'm dealing with whoever.
Yeah, whoever.
Okay. I'll fly Air Bangkok if they'll take us.
You get on a plane and there's a bunch of chickens in an inflatable raft and an Asian named Short Round.
Yes.
You may not like the landing.
No. Wait, so we got to jump out of the plane?
Yeah, you'll hit the slope.
Yeah.
Good.
I booked another flight. And again, I'm frantic. I'm trying, I'm checking and everything. And I booked a second flight. And when the confirmation came in, oh my God, I realized that, it leaves on the 19th, but we have a 23-hour layover. In Dallas. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Darren, you just need to calm down.
Yeah.
It's just a vacation. Just calm down.
Yeah. You're supposed to be enjoying this.
Yeah. I'm on my vacation. On the 19th, I had that day off.
Uh-huh.
So I go to cancel that, and they refunded the money for the tickets, but not for the cost to check your seats. I got billed $300.
What?
Yeah. So I'm out $300 because I screwed up and by frantically clicking the wrong. Okay. So I gave up on that, and Libby was trying to call somebody, and I was trying to call somebody. We're trying to work through all this. We finally just like, you know what? Just go to the airport.
Yeah.
We're just going to go to the airport and see what they can do for us.
Oh, that's hardcore.
Yeah.
Dude, that's ballsy to just go there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are we going to do?
Going there.
Well, we've got to do something. We don't want to lose our whole trip.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the way our vacation was laid out, we were going to do one day in San Francisco and then drive to Yosemite National Park for 3 days and then go to Lake Tahoe for 3 days.
So you got a rental car that you got to pick up?
A rental car at one place that's going to take us to another place.
Oh, yeah.
So we're driving to the airport. And while we're in the car trying to get to Cincinnati's airport is in northern Kentucky. For people listening to us around the world, the Cincinnati, Ohio airport is in Kentucky.
Yeah.
We're driving to the airport, and Libby finally got hold of this guy with Priceline. And he deserves the Customer Service Appreciation Award of the year.
Okay.
Jack was absolutely amazing. So Jack is trying to work with us with Priceline, and he's like, well, I could try and get you something from Indianapolis. We're like, well, we're already on our way to CVG, to Cincinnati. And he's checking. And he says, hang on for 1 second. And then he says, can you hear me? Like, yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's nothing else at CVG. Let me look and see if there's anything at Lexington. Okay, can you hold? Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me? Yes. Yes, we can hear you. Okay. There's nothing at Lexington. Have you already checked Dayton? I'm like, well, I checked Dayton. He goes, yeah, I'm looking at Dayton here. Hang on. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me? Yes. Yes, Jack, we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got a hot air balloon.
There's nothing at Dayton. He finally says, we've got a flight out of Louisville. that takes off tonight.
Did you say, excuse me, Jack, it's Louisville?
It's Louisville, yeah. And what's the capital of Kentucky? Is it Louisville or Louisville?
Yeah, exactly.
It's Frankfurt. He says, I got a flight out of Louisville that has a layover in Las Vegas, and then it'll get you into San Francisco at 12:30 a.m.
Is that the one you took?
We're like, we'll take it. We'll take it. So he says, okay. So he says, I'm going to book it, and we're good. So he books it.
Okay.
And we're driving, and we pass the exit that takes you to Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky International Airport.
Okay.
And we're driving to Louisville.
Yes.
Right? And we're, and it takes, I don't know how long to get to Louisville.
2 hours.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm driving, and we're so relieved we've got a flight. And now Libby's on the phone with the rental car place. And she says, we've got a rental car that we're supposed to pick up in Reno. We now need to pick this up in Las Vegas we got to pick it up at another. Okay. Yeah. So they're changing where we pick up our rental car.
Can I pause you for a moment?
Yeah.
Longtime listeners will know from my exploits, you don't want to pick up a rental car in Las Vegas. They don't have any.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was supposed to be, we were supposed to pick up a rental car in San Francisco. Wait. We're now picking it up at a different airport.
So you're going to land in Vegas and then drive?
No, we're going to land in Vegas and then take a layover to
Gotcha.
To a different airport.
I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So we called the rental car place and we're telling them that we need to change the reservation to a different time. And our flight now will land at 11:55 in Reno.
Mm-hmm. During the day, 11:55.
No, at night. At night. No, at night. Oh. And they said, okay, yeah. But just one thing you need to know, our office closes at midnight.
What the hell?
And we're like, what do you mean your office closes at midnight? Yeah, our office closes at midnight. So, I mean, there won't be anybody there if your flight is so. And we're like, well, God, you landed at 11:55. It takes you 10 minutes just to get off the plane.
In their defense, in Reno, after midnight, the ghost of Johnny Cash will come out and shoot you in the face.
Right, just to watch you die.
But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
And we're like, well, now, and they're very nice. We're like, what do you mean? Yeah. We have a reservation, but you can't guarantee that someone will be there to give us the keys to the car.
When the war starts, the first people going down in my book are the rental car company people.
So we're hot and we're trying to figure this out. Then the guy from Priceline calls us back.
Oh,
we're like, hey Jack, what's going on? Why are you calling us? He goes, yeah, we've got a problem with the Louisville flight.
Oh my God.
And we're like, what do you mean you have a problem with the Louisville flight? We've got a problem with the Louisville flight. He said that because, of all the system outages and everything, we tried to book your flight, but in the time that we tried to do it, apparently some of the other seats had been taken and they couldn't. And anyway, we lost our Louisville flight. We're almost in Louisville.
Yeah.
Okay, I am hauling ass driving to Louisville while Libby's on the phone trying to figure out our car rental. And so, but we lost it. So we couldn't fly out of Louisville. I'm like, well, now what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are these jackholes taking your seats on Louisville?
I don't know. So we went back to plan A, which was go to the airport. So I pulled off, turned around, and drove from almost Louisville back to CVG Airport.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You really?
I did.
You didn't just try to stick it in Louisville?
No. I mean, what are we going to do? We didn't have anything in Louisville. We did have something.
Is it a larger airport? I mean, did you get within sight of it?
I've never flown out of Louisville, so I don't know.
I would think it would be bigger than CVG.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it.
No,
I doubt
right.
it.
That's right.
So we drive back, and like I said, we were elated that we had a flight out of Louisville, and now we're crushed because we don't. So I'm driving back to CVG Airport. We get to the airport. Jacob's phone is almost died. Libby's phone is almost dead. And my phone is now at 20-some%. Oh. Libby's been calling. We've only got one phone charger. So, but Libby had been calling and I had been I was on hold with somebody. Mm-hmm. We get to the airport and Libby's like, go in there and see what it's like. I'm like, I think we both need to go in there.
Yeah.
Because I was going to check other airlines while Libby tried to get help from Delta.
Delta will help you out.
I understand.
Yeah.
By the way, Delta were very cool with us.
They are good people.
We get to the airport and we pull right up where you drop off your luggage. And I said, Jacob, get in the front seat. And Jacob gets up there and he sits in the front seat with the engine running, waiting for someone to say, hey, sir, you need to move your car. And then he was going to move it. He didn't know where he was going to move it, but he was prepared to do that. And he was going to call us and let us know that he had to move the car. So Libby gets in the line for Delta Help, which is 14 miles long. I went and checked with American Airlines. They didn't have anything. I went and checked with Frontier. They didn't have anything. I went and checked with Alaska Airlines. There was 3 or 4 other airlines I went and talked to. Frontier, I think, only flies to Florida, something. But nobody had anything. And then I get a call back from Jack from Priceline. Now, my phone, again, is almost dead.
Yeah.
So I said, hang on, Jack. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. I run out to the car, and Jacob's like getting ready to get out and let me get in the car. I'm like, no, I need your charger. So I take the charger, I go back into the airport, and I'm standing, leaning against the wall with my charger in the wall.
Oh, my God.
Talking, and Jack says, Mr. Cox, I think we have found you a flight, but it leaves tomorrow. We've got absolutely nothing tonight. It leaves tomorrow. So I went and I found Libby, and I said, we've lost San Francisco. We're not going to make our trip to San Francisco. We're just not. There's no way we're going to make it. And we were crushed because we both really wanted to go to San Francisco. We've never seen it, never been.
Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
Rice-A-Roni, all in one package. Rice, vermicelli, and this fabulous flavor package.
Rice-A-Roni, the flavor can't be beat.
Brown the rice and vermicelli, add hot water, and saute.
One pan, no boiling, cooking ease. A flavor that is sure to please.
In minutes, a flavorful change from potatoes.
Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
I'm like, okay, well, now we're on salvage mode.
How much of this can we...
How much of the trip can we save?
Yeah.
And he booked us a flight Saturday at 8 p.m. with a layover in Dallas, and then we would land in Reno, Nevada. Because I told him, I said, we don't need to even try to go to San Francisco anymore. Let's get us the closest we can to Yosemite.
Yeah.
Because our second part of the trip was Yosemite. He says, okay. So he found us a flight, again, CVG to Dallas to Reno, Nevada, and we get to Reno right before midnight. Okay. I'm like, okay, this is what we'll take. And I went over, but before I confirmed it, I checked with Libby. I'm like, we've got a flight tomorrow. That's the best we can do. She said, okay. While she was on the phone, she finally got in touch with someone from Delta who could have gotten us a flight Sunday.
Yeah.
The best Delta could do for us was something Sunday. We would have lost 2 days of our vacation.
Yeah.
That we've already paid for, by the way. And it ain't cheap going to Yosemite, folks. I just hope you know that. So we're like, okay. And with tears in our eyes, we accepted the flight on Saturday. We weren't going to San Francisco anymore. We went home. We went to IHOP and
that's where you go.
Yeah, just swallowed our problems with pancakes.
Yeah,
and we went home and watched some TV. Went to bed. That morning, we finally got in touch with someone else who was much nicer and assured us. They said, "Look, your car rental is connected to your flight reservation.
Okay,
they have to. If your plane gets delayed." Or whatever, they have to wait for you. So we assure you that your car rental will be there for you when you get to Reno.
Yeah.
And we felt better because this guy was really fantastic. So we're like, okay. So here it is. We're supposed to be on day 2 of our vacation, and we're just tooling around the house. We left and decided to go to the airport like 3 hours early instead of 2 hours early. And when we got to CVG, it was an absolute zoo still. Day 2, it was a zoo. It took us an hour to check our bags. The line to TSA for security, that was like, it just went around the corner. It was a mile long. Took us a long time to get through that. We finally, it's like we got on the plane. Libby and I, we're not relaxed. We're not on vacation until we have those rental car keys.
Okay.
Because we know...
It's out of your control until that point.
With everything else that had screwed up, we were convinced, okay, we're going to get to Reno, and there's not going to be a car for us. Mm-hmm. So we get on the plane, we fly to Dallas, and we get off of Dallas, and then we're trying to get to our connecting flight that was C-14. We go to gate C-14, and it says Los Angeles. Like, we're not going to Los Angeles. Are
Still
you
in California.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a friend in Los Angeles. We could have went and visited Jay Ryan.
Yeah.
So I talked to the attendant at the gate. I'm like, this is supposed to be Reno. He goes, oh, they moved that gate. Hang on. And I'm fine.
Oh, yeah.
So our gate was A4 right next to where we got off. So we turned around. We all got back on the airport shuttle.
Yeah.
And we take the airport shuttle back to right next to where we had gotten off. And we see Reno. Like, okay, this is where we're supposed to be. So that was fun. And we get on the plane, and the way we booked the seats, it's like the kids were sitting in the back of the plane.
You're sitting on the pilot's lap.
Exactly. I'm surprised that we were we were just all in different places of the plane. Libby had the smartest idea ever. She asked our flight attendant, she says, look, I understand that everyone's having a horrible time with flights and everything, but we have to get our rental car before they close down their office. Is there anything we can do to get off the plane first? Can we get off the plane first? Is that possible? And she goes, well, let me find out.
Yeah.
And she goes up and she says, if there's any available seats, I can move you forward. The flight attendant moved some people around, and the front row of seats right next to first class.
Yeah.
She moved us up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the plane lands, they open the thing. Libby and I are hauling ass like on The Amazing Race. Yeah. We turned around, we gave Jacob and Cameron the thumbs up, and they knew they were going to get our carry-ons that were in the overhead thing.
Yeah.
We're like, meet us at baggage claim.
Yeah.
And we were just hauling ass. And we got to the counter, the Avis counter, and there was one woman there, but the thing said budget. We're like, oh crap, where's the Avis lady? Where's the Avis lady?
What happened?
There's supposed to be an Avis person.
Yeah, it's the same company, isn't it?
We're like,
it's the same.
Yeah. Well, we found out that it was the same company.
Yeah, that happened to me in Vegas.
Because I thought, well, if Avis ain't here, we're renting a budget car. And so she was taking care of a customer, and then she says, are you budget or Avis? We said Avis. She goes, oh, okay, hang on. And she
turns around, puts a different hat on.
Donde está? You know? And so she says, oh, okay, yeah, got your reservation right here. And we're like, Libby and I just high-fived.
Yeah.
And we got our car, and we had the keys to the car, and our bags weren't lost. And we're like, our vacation has finally started.
Officially started. Yeah.
We can relax. We're on vacation. So it's now.
And the car was there. It wasn't. Yeah.
Then you can give me a automobile, a Datsun, a Toyota, a Mustang, a Buick, 4 wheels and a seat.
Yeah, we didn't have any situation like that. But she did say, it's a good thing you were here. I was just about to wrap up and go home. Yeah. It's a good thing we hauled ass off the plane. Yeah, we ran like crazy.
Because when they say we close at midnight, you got to imagine a rental car place in a Reno airport.
Yeah.
The lady's probably like, oh, I could get home a little early and catch an episode of The Wheel.
Yeah. Wheel and Jeopardy, which is on at midnight in Reno.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Lotus Biscoff Cookies. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I love traveling. It seems like every couple of months I get the urge to visit people and places anywhere on this great planet. And that's why I'm a big fan of Lotus Biscoff Cookies. Whenever I'm flying and the stewardess asks if I want a snack, I say, hell yeah, I want a snack, and make that snack a pack of Lotus Biscoff Cookies. Since 1932, Lotus Biscoff cookies have been made with all natural ingredients. They're crunchy, and that caramelized flavor has made them the preferred choice of every major airline that serves snacks. Lotus Biscoff cookies. Now those are some good cookies. Back to you guys in the studio.
But I don't know if you've ever driven through Nevada. Have you ever driven through Nevada?
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah, there's beautiful mountains there. Yeah. We're driving through Nevada at 1 in the morning.
It's beautiful, yeah. It's
1 in the morning, like, so this is Nevada. Yeah. Driving through Nevada looks like you're driving to Knoxville when you're doing it at 1 in the morning.
Where is Reno in relation to Vegas? Is it north of Vegas?
I have no idea.
I think it is.
All I know is
that's beautiful country.
It is.
Yeah.
We found that out a few days later. But we're driving from Reno, Nevada to Yosemite now.
Oh, okay.
And the kids have fallen asleep, and Libby's like, I'm so wired. Here, why don't you take the first sleep and I'll drive. I'm like, okay. So I slept for a couple hours, woke up, and so we're almost at Yosemite. And they say you got to get gas outside of Yosemite. You don't want to buy it inside because it's stupid expensive. And it is. It's almost $7 a gallon in the park. It's $6.39 outside of the park. $6.39.
Yeah. It was 9 something in Death Valley.
What are you gonna do? Not buy gas?
That's what they do.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm not paying. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, get a backpack, Grandpa.
Exactly.
You're not driving.
It ain't got no gas in it.
So I filled up, and then I drive in, and I'm driving on this road, and I see a wolf. Beautiful wolf.
Okay.
Oh my God, beautiful.
Yeah.
This wolf jumps out in the road and looks at me like, "Hey, it's a car."
Yeah.
And he or she goes back into they. Pronouns, Darren. Pronouns.
That's right.
And I'm driving, and I see this beautiful lake, and it's a full moon.
Uh-huh.
And Mike, there's a full moon reflection over the lake, and I should have stopped and got a picture.
Yeah.
I should have, but I was. It's 4 a.m. now.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I'm exhausted. Anyway, we finally get to our cabin, and everybody's like, "Hey guys, we're here." We get out of the cabin, and we're starting to load our stuff. Our cabin has 56 steps that goes down this hill to our cabin, and all 4 of us were like, "Are you kidding me?"
My old enemy. Stairs.
Did it even have one of those chairs you could ride up?
No. And Libby's like, "This wasn't in the thing. This wasn't when I booked it. It wasn't in the thing."
Yeah.
So we're carrying our suitcases down 56 steps, and we get it into the condo or to our VRBO. We're all like, "Look, we missed a day already. Let's go. We're going." And so we dropped off our stuff, got some water, and then we instantly started hiking and walking around Yosemite. We saw waterfalls. We saw El Capitan. We saw Half Dome. If you're ever in Yosemite, there's this thing called Tunnel View. You drive down this really long tunnel, and as soon as you come out, you see the side of El Capitan. You see the Half Dome, and then one other mountain. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
So we saw that early in the morning, and like, this is really, really, really cool. And one thing, nobody thought I was funny at Yosemite. Nobody. Yeah. Now I know that people are like,
nobody listen to this podcast think either one of us are funny.
No, people don't. I think nobody at work thinks I'm funny either. But listen, I'm looking at El Capitan.
Yeah.
Okay, El Capitan is like the largest monolith in the world or the country.
It's large.
It's ginormous.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at El Capitan, and there's tourists on all sides of me. And I looked at it, and I looked at camera. I said, "Where's the 4 faces of the presidents?" Nothing.
Nobody nothing.
Nothing.
No.
And Cameron's like, "Dad, I don't know." And so we're like, "Hello?" Nothing. And we were looking at another mountain, and I tried it again. "Where's the 4 faces of the presidents?" "I don't know, Dad." Hello?
Yeah.
Crickets and tumbleweed. Nothing.
Yeah.
I brought Mikey the monkey with me.
Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for your out there, Darren.
No. I brought Mikey the monkey with me, and like when we were in the airport, he was climbing up the pole that you hang on those shuttles, and he was waving at people.
Nobody waved back, no.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Every time I tried a joke, just like absolutely nothing. But
you're bringing that Midwest humor to the West Coast. It just doesn't
doesn't
translate.
Yeah. So we saw sequoia trees.
They're big. I hear.
They're ginormous. I don't think they're as big as the redwoods in Redwood Forest, but they are freaking huge.
Yeah.
Okay. And we did a hike where
squirrels are massive.
The squirrels look different.
Do they?
California squirrels look different than
little
Ohio
surfboards
squirrels.
on their back.
Yeah, they got mullets. Yeah, they're all named Chad. Yeah, Trent. Trent the squirrel was like, I walked past the squirrel. He's like, "Sup?" Yeah. But
what road you take to get here? Did you take to 195?
Because if you take Highway 1, it goes all the way up the coast, dude. All the way up, man. All the way up. But
shut the f up, Trent. You're out of your element.
Oh man! But I mean, we had a day. We it's like outside of the couple hours that I slept in the car.
Yeah.
Libby and I were up almost 24 hours or more.
Yeah, because you had that time change in there as well.
Yeah, but we didn't want to lose any more of our vacation. And after we saw the sequoia trees, we found this place in Yosemite called Swinging Bridge, where there's a creek and the boys are swimming in the creek. Then it started getting dark, and Libby was going to go to Glacier Point.
Okay.
So where we could see the stars, but we were all just about to keel over and die.
Yeah.
And we decided we're going to call it. And, that was all that we did for that night. So we're driving back to our VRBO, and we're coming down our road, and we see 3 bears.
Okay.
This mama bear.
Oh, boy.
It was a small bear.
Okay.
It's a small bear. And then 2 little cubs.
Yeah.
Okay. And the mama bear sees the car, is like, oh, and just hauls it right across the street.
Left the kids?
Leaves the kids in the road. and the bears are looking like, well, what are we supposed to do now? We're in the road. There's a car.
Yeah.
But they eventually crossed the road, and our minds were blown that we saw 3 bears all at once, 3.
Yeah.
And then the next day, we're out on our porch, and we see a deer and her little baby deer, little fawn. Thank you, fawn.
Yeah.
So we saw deer. We saw some more deer on the hike. While we were walking around through Yosemite, we saw another bear. We're walking down like a paved path right next to the major road that goes through what you'd call downtown Yosemite, I guess. And there's not really downtown. This bear jumps across the path, and like idiots, we try to go and find it. We're like, hey, it's like, I want to see the bear. Yeah, so we're walking, trying to get a closer look at this bear, and the bear was smarter than we were.
Yeah.
Smarter than the average bear, if you can imagine.
Okay.
This bear was so smart, he jumps into the woods, or they jumped into the woods and then double backed. Went through the trees, and then at the other end of the road, jumps across and crosses the street like, screw you guys.
Yeah. Pulled a First Blood on you.
Exactly.
Al Sly did that in the first Rambo movie.
That's right. Yeah. That's exactly right. But it was the horrible start to the vacation. While we were there, the VRBO, like I said, had 56 steps. Our power went out one day.
Okay. Yeah.
So we put all the groceries we had in the freezer to keep our milk and our sandwich meat a little bit longer. It came back by the time we were there. It was nuts, Mike.
Yeah.
It was absolutely nuts.
You missed San Francisco.
We missed San Francisco.
Congratulations, San Francisco. You've ruined pizza. First the Hawaiians, and now you.
But so your vacation was like 2 spots: San Francisco and
Yosemite,
and Yosemite,
and then Lake Tahoe. So we were supposed to hit 3 places. We ended up hitting 2.
Okay.
Now our last night,
Lake Tahoe looked amazing.
This is Irritable Dad Syndrome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Our last night.
Oh, but excuse me. This is funny.
Yeah. It's today's comedy podcast.
Yeah.
Our last night in Yosemite, we were walking around, and some of the park rangers were clearing us out. They said, "You guys need to go. You guys can't be in this part of the park.
Yeah,
we've found a bear. We're trying to flush this bear out of this part of the park."
Okay.
And so what did everybody do? They moved back like 5 feet. And the park ranger, you guys need to move. We're trying to flush out this bear.
Yeah.
Guys, everybody needs. So we're clearing out, and Jacob's like, "Oh, too bad we didn't get to see a bear like Yogi Bear, like at Jellystone." And I said, "Well, actually, that park, is Yellowstone." He goes, Is it Yellowstone or Jellystone? I said, well, the joke is it's Jellystone, but the actual park is Yellowstone.
Yeah.
There's this guy standing next to us, and he looks at us, and we weren't talking to him.
Yeah.
He looks at it and goes, "It's the same place." It's the same place.
He's just trying to help. He recognized that you guys might be a bit soft in the head.
He sounded like comic book guy on The Simpsons. "You must be high and lowest because you make me laugh." It's the same place. And for the rest of the trip, everything that Libby would say to Jacob would go, "Mom, it's the same place. And bears don't wear hats, and they don't wear neckties."
Every summer, thousands of pleasure-seeking tourists head for the great outdoor playgrounds of America. And a favorite spot is this wonderland of nature called Jellystone National Park. But while these eager beaver motorists are trying to get into beautiful Jellystone Park, one rugged individualist is trying to get out.
I have had it, boo-boo. I'm gonna bust out of here.
How come, Yogi?
Every day it's the same old thing. Look at the bears, look at the bears, look at the bears. Sheesh.
We had a blast in Yosemite, and then when we were done, we drove to Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
And my God, is Lake Tahoe beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
The lake was insane, beautiful. It looked like we were in a tropical paradise.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's Lake Tahoe, California. I will warn you, the water is freezing.
Yeah.
The coldest damn water I've ever been in. It was just nuts how cold the water was. There's like a place called King Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like where the majority of the people go because it's usually free parking, and it's just really big. Libby wanted to go to this place called Sand Harbor. I don't know if you saw the posts or the pictures that I posted on my Facebook page.
I did, yeah.
Those pictures are from Sand Harbor.
Okay.
Those really, really beautiful lake pictures
yeah.
was from Sand Harbor. Here's the deal with Sand Harbor. Okay, it's gorgeous, but it opens up at 7 a.m., and everybody goes at 7 a.m. because once they fill the parking lot, they close the beach.
Oh.
And we're like, do we want to get up at 5:30 or 6 in the morning and to drive out?
Yeah.
And plus, who wants to go to the beach at 7 a.m.?
Yeah.
Right? It's like you go to the beach at 10 or 11 once it's already warm or whatever. So Libby had, the smart one in the family. Libby has this brilliant idea. She wanted to rent bikes.
Okay.
And there's this giant bike trail that goes along the
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So we rented these e-bikes. And stupid me, because I was like, do we need e-bikes? Do we need electric bikes? I mean, we can all get like the regular cruisers like we get in Hilton Head.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You're overestimating your ability. You're
Plus elevation. My God, Libby and I would walk up the steps and
yeah. Because you almost made the same mistake that I made in Grand Canyon when I thought I was just going to have to send Andrew on ahead. Mm-hmm. Just let me die down here. I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to make it.
We got the bikes, the e-bikes, and we rode them up the hill along the coast there to Sand Harbor.
Wow.
And then we got to Sand Harbor.
Yeah.
And like $2 to get in if you take that trail. So we beat the system, went there, we're swimming in the freezing cold water, and you could go out on these rocks and then jump off the rocks into the water. And the kids were loving it, we were loving it. And we packed peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day while we were there. And we had a picnic there, and it was great.
Yeah.
It was really, really, really great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
And so after our day at Sand Harbor, we returned the bikes.
No lake monsters asking for tree fitty?
No.
Yeah, that's good.
No.
I said, I ain't giving you no tree fitty, you damn Loch Ness monster. Get your own damn money.
We did not see a single lake monster or any whale testicles. Nothing. Tentacles. We drive back to our second VRBO, this place in Lake Tahoe, and we pull into the parking lot. We see another bear.
Okay.
A big black bear. A big one.
Okay.
That Libby has named Phyllis.
Okay.
So, this bear's just walking like he don't give a walking across our parking lot. We're like, okay, so now that we know that there are bear walking around our VRBO, our apartment complex where we're staying, so we all made sure don't leave anything in the car.
You're right, yeah.
Or if you got to go back to the car, go with a buddy. Because it's like, what are you going to do? There's a bear.
Yeah, just hanging out with the security guard for the place, right? That's what he was? Did he have a badge?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think he had a badge at all. We saw the bear. And every time we left, we're like, okay, so we're all like, kill circle. And all four of us are back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure we didn't get a bear. Run out to the car. Our second or third night in Lake Tahoe, we had found this place where you could park for free. And it was a little bit of like a block to get to the beach. And we were trying to go to Kings Beach again. And that parking lot, that free parking lot was closed. But Libby found a spot right next to it. She go, ooh, park there.
Okay.
So I pulled in and we parked there. We didn't realize that was a place where you could not park. Right?
Yeah.
So we went to the beach for 3 or 4 hours and got some dinner and stuff. We came back and they had put this big, gigantic green sticker warning, not allowed to park here. If you don't move the car before this time, it will be towed.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So glad we found it before they towed it.
Uh-huh.
B, it took me an hour or more to get that sticker off the window because all the sticky residue was on it. I'm out there. I got online on the www, and it said that, if you spray it with Windex or vinegar, that'll help get the adhesive off. And you can use a razor, but a razor could scratch the window. I'm like, I don't want to scratch my rental car because we've already spent so much money on this trip. They said you could use like a credit card. I'm like, okay. So I go on my wallet and I get out my library card, and Louis says, yeah, use your library card. It'd be nice if you finally put that thing to some use.
Okay.
Waka, waka, waka.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. That's really funny.
That was comedy.
I'm like, that is funny.
That is
that's funny. That's funnier than the old, hey, where are the four faces on the mountain? Which I still think was funny.
Yeah.
But again, I'm out in the parking lot with Windex and my library card trying to get this sticker off my window. Every couple minutes, I'm checking, making sure there aren't
no bears. Yeah.
Two really annoying things on the trip. One, there was a pool right across the street from our second VRBO that we went over, and we're trying to relax.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the end of the day. All we want to do is sit by the pool and just chill, and we're in California. But my God, Mike, there were 5 kids playing Marco Polo.
Oh, my God.
I'm talking for like a half hour. Marco Polo, Marco Polo, Marco Polo, Marco Polo, Marco Polo, Marco Polo, Marco. And there's one kid, Pulo, Marco Pulo. I'm like,
Marco
it's
Pulo.
not Pulo, you dumbass. It's Polo. Marco Pulo,
Marco Pulo was
Marco
his neighbor.
Pulo, Marco Pulo, and they're screaming it at the top of their lungs. And I'm like, damn it. I mean, I have never struck another child, but I want to just pull them out of the pool and like, stop playing Marco Polo.
Yeah.
Play, like, how long can you hold your breath?
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. Why don't you try to drown the other one? See if you can do it. Just
come on. Take her towel and throw it in the pool and let her see how long she find it. Yeah. Shut up. I mean, I was with Friday going as bad as it was, and then being sleep deprived from the second day of the trip, and then it's like 3 days of sunscreen and oh my God, it's just I've never. And they played we finally, after like a half hour of it, we just left. We went to the pool the next day, and there were different kids playing Marco Polo at the top of their lungs.
Oh
Marco Polo, Marco Polo, 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 Polo.
Yeah.
We left the pool.
Yeah.
We just left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. Our last day in Lake Tahoe.
You could have gotten the bear over there to take care of some things for you.
Phyllis, go get him.
Give him a jar of honey. Hold this.
Yeah.
Bear, come here.
Our last day in Lake Tahoe, wake up and I'm using the bathroom and I notice that there's no toilet paper. We have run out of toilet paper. It wasn't in the downstairs bathroom. It wasn't in the upstairs bathroom.
Oh, boy.
It wasn't in any of the cabinets.
Yeah.
It wasn't in where the washer and dryer was. We had completely run out of toilet paper. So that's interesting. Also,
you don't think the bear could have gone out and got you some? What?
Well, bear just picks up a rabbit.
That's right.
So couldn't find toilet paper anywhere, and we had to improvise. And they also hid the plates on us.
Would they hid them?
Next to the oven, you open up these cabinets, and then you slide out this drawer where the plates were.
Yeah.
Libby and I looked for a half hour. Like, where are the plates? Are we got to run out to Safeway and buy some freaking plates to eat dinner? It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the Black Bear Diner, home of the tastiest food you'll ever eat. Find a location near you at blackbeardiner.com.
So with all the trouble flying out there, we were worried about, what was going to happen flying back. We drove back to Reno, and we ate at this place called the Black Bear Diner. Oh my God. Insane. If you're ever anywhere where there's a Black Bear Diner, order anything they have on the menu. Because we absolutely, that's like the only place where we really enjoyed the food.
Oh, really?
Because all through Yosemite, it was just like, being at 4-H camp. It's like they just had burgers and just stuff like at a cafeteria.
Yeah.
I thought that Lake Tahoe probably would have had better food than what we ordered, but we weren't impressed with the food.
Yeah.
In Lake Tahoe either, but we were really impressed with Black Bear Diner. But we got to Reno, we had to check out at like 3, and then we had... Our flight didn't leave till midnight. We took what the kids call the red eye.
Yeah.
So we get to Reno stupid early. We went to see Twisters at a movie theater there. By the way, we went to see Twisters in Reno. There was a water tower that collapsed that said Reno on it in the movie. We're like, hey, we're here. That says Reno. We're in Reno. And Jacob's like, yeah, Dad, shut up. We're in a movie. But yeah, we got to the airport and we're just beat down, exhausted. And Mike, there's not one, not two, but 3 screaming kids in the lobby of the airport waiting to get on our flight. And God love these parents. I swear, I've never been upset with the kids because the kids don't know what's going on. They've got something wrong, and these are babies. So I've never been upset with the kid. This one dad, my God, he was doing everything he possibly could to help this kid. He was shushing and dancing and come on and what's this over here, and trying snacks and trying to distract. And the kid wasn't having it. And just as soon as this kid would calm down, this other kid would start screaming, and then the third kid would start screaming. We're like, oh my God, this is going to be like this on the flight home. Eventually, kid 1 and kid 2, I passed out, fell asleep. The third kid screamed the entire flight. The entire flight from Reno to Dallas.
How old do you think? The
baby.
Okay, baby.
Yeah,
I can actually.
And I felt so bad for the mom because when we left, we got to look at the mom, and she just looked like God kill me, And you have kids. I have kids. When
you know what that's like.
Yeah, when they were going through that, it's like she's thinking, "Oh my God, everybody on this plane hates me.
Yeah,
hates me and hates my child." But because we were really wanting to sleep on that first flight, and we didn't. But so anyway, it was a great trip. We had some great times, but my God, we had a lot of stressful moments getting to it. I've never been happier to be home. I mean, I wish it hadn't started like that because unfortunately, it's hard to recover when you have such a huge, horrible start to your vacation. And I want to say, I know that we did not have it anywhere near as bad as some other people. We have friends who were trying to fly home on July 19th, and it took them, I think, 36 hours to get home. I have a friend who's a juggler. He performs, and he was in North Carolina. His layover flight got canceled, and he was stranded in the airport. I mean, there were people at CVG at Cincinnati. There's this woman trying to get to Denmark. My mom has friends who were all taking a cruise, and their flight was canceled. They had to drive. 24 of them all had to drive to Florida to get their cruise. And it's like, I know, it's like we didn't miss a wedding, we didn't miss a funeral, we didn't miss a job interview. It was a vacation. But still, I mean, we spent so much money on this vacation, and we're trying to salvage as much of it as possible. But I want to know, if you were traveling on July 19th, if you had something major inconveniencing happen to you, please send us a message and tell us about it. I'd love to hear your story.
I love vacation stories because it always happens on vacation.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell mine next episode.
Okay.
I'll tell some other things with it.
Okay.
Because Mikey hungry.
Yeah.
And Mikey need eat. Mikey need food. So I will tell the listeners, the past 3 weeks have been crazy.
Yeah.
For both of us. Normally, the way we time the podcast is I've done everything for the day. I've eaten. Darren walks in, and dinner is just done.
You could have told me. I would have come a half hour later.
I know you would have, but then that would have put this moment being a half hour later, and then Mikey would have been going to bed, and then I would be in a bad mood tomorrow, and I don't want to yell at people tomorrow who don't deserve it. I'd rather yell at people who do deserve it. So we'll cut this one here, and then we'll, we have some tales.
Well, no, for people who are new to the podcast, Mike usually has things to talk about.
I usually say things.
I dominated this whole thing, and I didn't mean to, and I apologize.
So I do want to whet people's appetites. So when I talk about our vacation, Bess had to call the police on our neighbors.
Yeah. The neighbors that were at the hotel where you were staying.
Neighbors at the hotel that we were staying. Someone's butt hair was pulled out.
Oh.
Not in our clan. We heard that through the walls.
What?
Yeah. Somebody was yelling about their butt hair. And and we had multiple stops, and Andrew drove on the highway for an extended period of time.
Wow,
okay. So we'll have all those fun tales.
Yeah.
And we also saw Twisters. Yeah. Because, as we've talked about before, we share a brain. Yes. I should have just texted you, hey, we're going to see Twisters. Have you seen it yet? Because I was like, son of a bitch, the dude saw Twisters.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It's a great movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. It's really, really good.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Oh, one other thing. We saw a completely naked person on the beach.
Hello.
That's great.
I'll tell that story next week.
Okay. All right. If you like what we do, please visit irritabledadsyndrome.com. I have a new merch item up.
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm going to edit it a bit. So by the time you hear this, it'll be officially there and you can get it. But it's we never go political.
No.
We've gone political.
Yeah.
So we'll announce it, when the final design is done.
Yeah.
We'll announce it on Facebook and all our normal channels.
Yeah.
But check it out.
And if you want to go to Patreon, if you want to help us out, you can do that. If you want to buy a t-shirt, you can go to Irritable Dad Syndrome, you can do that. But most importantly, we want you to come back and listen to us again on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darren Cox production.
People Train goes out of Stumpsville.
Exactly.
You should have gone to Stumpsville.
We should have gone to Stubbville.
I just told you to shut up and then speak.
Do you want me to talk or not? Hi, I'm
Laugh
Darren.
like I just talked about my pecker.
You all right? Dude, you sat down like an 85-year-old man. Oh!
What do you think had more interesting stories, the White House or us, for the past 3 weeks? What would you say?
Yeah, now would be the time to have a political podcast. Am I right? Am I right?
Our numbers would
Holy
go
crap.
way the up.
Yeah.
Hold on, the show's not over yet. Irritable Dad Syndrome is going into overtime, starting right now.
Hey!
When we were waiting on the last flight and the 3 kids are screaming, I get a text, I look at it, it's Cameron. He'd sent me, it says, airports, am I right? Where are the 4 faces? I'm sorry. But
I think that's funny.
That was funny.
That's something I would say.
That was funny.
That is funny.
Yeah. And Libby said, well, maybe they didn't speak the language. Though they spoke the language.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in America.
Some people are just don't get it. I was very nervous. I had anxiety when you were talking about the thing, because that's always my worst nightmare, especially when you have a trip like you had with multiple destinations.
Yeah.
Because when we did ours,
domino effect. One thing screws up. Usually everything falls after that.
So, I mean, we documented our out west vacation is in one of the previous episodes.
Yeah.
What I didn't talk about, which you reminded me of, is, and I did say in the episode, everyone's favorite places were Vegas and the Grand Canyon, but then Death Valley. Everyone loved Death Valley, but a big part of that was all the stuff had fallen into place by then. Once we hit Death Valley, it's kind of like, it's done. Just chill for a couple of days. Go out in the middle of the desert with your dad and see a dead tree.
Yeah.
But for the most part, chill for a couple of days. And we had the best time. But if you look at where we were, it's really, well, what did you have? We had a restaurant, we had a pool, and a room. And then the surrounding of the desert. And we had a freaking blast, because I was like, all we have to do now is survive for 2 days and make it back to the airport.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first day, our trip, we'd been planning that trip for years. And I was driving to the wrong airport. We almost missed our first flight to go to Denver because I was driving to Darren. I have flown, my previous job, I flew all the time. Internationally, I was always flying somewhere.
Yeah.
And I've been to CVG so much, I could drive there in my sleep.
Absolutely.
And we're like, I had everything nailed down. We got to be here by this time, be here by that time. This is paid for, that's paid for, that's paid for. I wasn't even thinking about, I'm going to go to the wrong airport. And about halfway through the drive, Bess is saying, are we... where Gandalf in Fellowship of the Ring, where he looks around and he's like, I have no memory of this place.
Right.
I had no memory of this. I don't know where I am. And I looked, and it's taken us to the Cincinnati Regional Airport. There is a regional airport in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Like actual Cincinnati.
Yeah. Lunkin.
That's also, yes.
Right?
That's also known as the wrong airport. And then we were well ahead of the curve. Going to have all kinds of time. We'll get a burrito or whatever. They go to a plane. We went from that to, holy, we're going to miss our freaking flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all those anxieties came back up when you were telling your tale.
Well, I think I told you about the time I was flying out of Dayton, and this was long before I had GPS in the car. So I went to MapQuest and I printed off directions to get to the Dayton airport. And I had to be at Dayton airport we were leaving at 6 a.m. And so I had to be there at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So I left my house at 3 to drive up there, right?
As one does.
Yeah, and I'm driving up there because it takes a long time to get to Dayton. And I'm following all the directions that I have on MapQuest. And then I get to the airport that it took me to, and the front gate was closed. I'm like, what do you mean? Wait, why are they closing? They can't close. Wait. What's going on here?
Yeah.
And the lights are going around, like for planes that are landing. And I drove around, and there's another gate that's closed. Then I'd keep driving, and there's a third gate that's closed.
Yeah.
I finally get to the fourth gate that's open, and I pull in, and these two gentlemen in military gear with rifles said, "Sir, can we help you?" And I said, "I'm in the wrong place. I went to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Air Force Base. That's not the airport. That's the Air Force Base."
Yeah.
And they saw the fear in my eyes. I said, "I have went to the wrong place."
Yeah.
I said, and I am going to miss a flight, and I'm going to be fired. All right, sir, this is what you need to do. Okay, get off this road, take a right. It'll put you back on this. They were like so cool after they realized I wasn't a threat.
Terrorist or something. Yeah.
I got to that airport with, I think, 15 minutes to spare before my 2-hour window or whatever, plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm like, God.
It's just, I went through a long period where I quit checking baggage. Because some of the guys that I work with from Europe, by the way,
this is Irritable Dad Syndrome after podcast.
This is bonus. Yeah. I ended the podcast because I was hungry, and now I won't shut up. The first couple times I went over there, I took a normal American suitcase, which you can fit a refrigerator, a small car,
and a yak
in it. And all the Europeans they weren't making fun of me, but they were like looking at it and being like, "Really? You're going to do that?" And they all had like these little bags that were like smaller than my phone.
Yeah. It's like, and they have a week's worth of clothes, and they can put it in their pocket.
Yeah.
The hell?
And, a couple of them have visited, and I made comment to one of them that I'd known for a while, and I could make this kind of comment. I was like, now I know why you guys stink after like 3 or 4 days. Oh. It's because you're just re-wearing the same clothes over and over.
God. You can't say that.
Yeah, cut that part out. I did.
I'm not cutting that out.
I said it.
That's
leave
glorious.
it in. But here's the deal. I didn't say that. I got into a little competition with one of the Europeans over there, who he was always, everything was perfectly pressed, everything looked great. Mm-hmm. He would pack for like 3 weeks, and it's like half the size of that thing.
Yeah,
it's like like a carry-on. It was all carry-on.
Mike is pointing to something that's the size of a thing.
Carry-on. So
small.
I told Bess, I'm like, I'm getting a carry-on that's as large as a carry-on can be, because I'm not a masochist.
I understand.
And one time, I got one of those vacuum bag sealers. You ever seen one of those?
Yes.
And I was like, I'm going to see if I can do this. I was in Europe for a week and a half. I'm going to see if I can do a week and a half
with a carry-on.
And I did it.
Okay.
I didn't have to wash anything, had a change of clothes for every time. It worked. And it was so relieving to not have to go to the baggage claim or any of that. I just got off the plane and went straight to the car.
But was it over the 50-pound limit?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
A week and a half worth of clothes, and it wasn't over the 50-pound limit. Okay, you know what? That does make sense because
they're mostly slacks.
Slacks. Yeah, dungarees. Yeah. Libby and I usually pack our stuff in the same bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
I took it. My first. I do remember this because I was not, the first time I went to Europe, I was not over the limit going over, but coming back, I couldn't. And I literally was throwing away stuff because they weren't going to let me on the plane. And I crack up now. At the time, I was pissed. I took an iron with me.
Why would you take an iron?
I didn't know
they have them in the hotels.
Well, I didn't know for sure if they would.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
And I had a big freaking iron. And I was in the Amsterdam Schiphol airport, and I'm right by the security gate where you have to go in through security. There's a big trash thing, and Flirkenflugen with an arrow pointing down.
Oh, I love going to Flirkenflugen.
Yeah,
they've got a Hard Rock there.
That's where you put your and I'll never forget there was a Danish, I'm assuming, or Amsterdamish, whatever they are, a Danish.
Oh, okay, I love Danish.
Is watching me take a big ass American iron, not a little travel iron. I'm talking one of those big, like the coyote drops on the
the
whippersnapper.
Yeah.
And I put it in the trash, and he looks at me because it just barely fit in the hole of the trash. And I look at him, and I'm like, and it's like a couple of shirts. That's not a lot of weight. All the toothpaste, anything that had any weight to it was going in the thing, and I just barely. It was like 2 kilograms off because everything's in,
Okay, so could you have not still checked that? You couldn't check
I had to pay.
Right.
My first bag was free. The next bag is like 100 euros or something, which ends up being, at that time, it was like $130.
Just bill the
iron's
company.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
Nah, they don't. Yeah.
They don't do that?
I want to keep my job.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I said, they always use carry-on and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, Mike, why do you have a bill for $130? Did you take your iron again? No. But I did. It was very, that helped me with our trip that we went on, because I learned how to just pack in the smallest possible thing.
I think next time I go to Chicago for business, I'm going to take everything on a carry-on. Because it is, I can only imagine how nice it is not having to check your bag.
The first time it's a bit frustrating, but you get used to it, and it becomes almost like a puzzle. And then you start to judge people. You'll see how many people at the airport have those big-ass bags, and you look at them and you're like, oh,
loser. Yeah.
I'm freaking MacGyver. Yeah.
My stuff's vacuum packed.
I did,
for freshness. Yeah.
I did. The week and a half time, I was especially proud. The zipper was holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
I was at the point where if they had change for me, I'm like, no, I'm good. Keep the change. Put a little penny in there. Explode.
Libby's convinced that if she rolls all her stuff up, she rolls all her stuff and packs it, and she's convinced that you can get more in there.
You can.
I don't necessarily believe that, although we haven't disputed it and actually put it to the test.
Yeah.
But because she's like, why didn't you roll your stuff? I'm like, why don't you just fold your stuff? Why don't you roll it? Why don't you fold it?
Yeah.
Why are you yelling at me? What's wrong with you? We're on vacation.
Yeah, the vacuum, the flattened bag. I'm looking at my clothes look like those poster things. I had like 3 or 4 of those. You just lay them in there like weird Legos, because you'll have like a collar, a shirt collar that just makes a weird thing, and you kind of, I'll put my shoe in this little thing. It's like Tetris.
Yeah.
Coming back is because you don't have the vacuum thing with you when you're over there, and now you got to deal. And now you got dirty drawers.
Yeah. For the first time ever, Libby and I left something at a place.
Oh.
When we were leaving our VRBO in Yosemite, there was a closet in our room, and I had walked past it. Libby had hung her jacket, and I brought my a raincoat, because I was like, what are we going to do if it rains while we're on a hike? I'll just take a raincoat with me. And I have a raincoat that belonged to my dad. Okay, this is something that they gave to Dad when he drove the school bus.
Okay.
When he worked for the Russell County school system. So on one side it has Marvin, and on the other thing it's got a school bus on it, and it's Dad's school bus jacket. And it's a raincoat.
Oh, man.
So I brought my raincoat with me, had it hanging in the closet. We checked every room. Everything. We checked the shower, make sure we didn't leave. We brought our own washcloths, by the way, because whenever we go to a place, they have 2. Like, we're here for 3 days. We need more than 2 washcloths. Yeah,
because you're in a rental place. Yeah,
we need more than that.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I bring our own soap.
Yeah.
I hate the little soapy things.
We've started doing that too.
Yeah.
Because they don't. Now we're going to start bringing our own toilet paper. Because apparently they don't stock those up either.
Yeah.
But we checked everything over and over and over again. We get in the car. It takes about 2 hours to leave Yosemite.
Okay.
We've left Yosemite. We filled up on gas. We're driving to Reno. I'm like, the jacket. We left my dad's jacket. We left Libby's jacket in that closet.
Did you go back, or did you?
No, my God, it would have taken us 2 hours.
Oh, that's true. That's
and then
true.
2 hours
Did
to
you
get
try
back.
contacting them?
Libby reached out and asked if she would mail it to us.
Okay.
So I think she's going to mail me my dad's jacket.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. I love vacation stories.
Again, there were so many people who had it worse than we did.
Yeah.
But it was stressful. It was stressful as hell. We got there, though.
That's awesome. The pictures are amazing.
Oh,
the Tahoe pictures. I was like, what the hell did he?
No.
They look like they're in a different planet.
All I did was point the camera and click.
Yeah.
I got to show you some of the other ones I took.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the best pictures I've ever taken, ever, at Yosemite and Lake Tahoe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's cut this thing.
We're going to go.
See ya.
Bye.
Recording stopped.